So I grew up being a big fan of Jean-Claude Van Damme, mainly because my mom had all of his tapes. Jean-Claude Van Damme in our household every weekend. We'd watch one of his movies almost. I must have seen Universal Soldier enough that I had it memorized by the time I was like 12 or 13. Universal Soldier is great, by the way. Plot of Universal Soldier. These soldiers, they die in Vietnam. The Nam, as it were. And the government resurrects them to be like an expendable super soldier combat squad, right? They take care of hostage situations and such. Well, the thing is, these guys basically zombies with superhuman strength, right? Well, they've got to be kept cold because they're made of dead flesh. They haven't gotten around that problem yet. And they get injections that help keep them super. But Jean-Claude Van Damme, he starts having memories of the atrocities they committed in Vietnam. And also, his commanding officer, Dolph Lundgren, who was committing extra atrocities in Vietnam and had a necklace of ears around him. So, he meets up with a reporter. This attractive lady sees his butt as he is naked quite a few times because he's got to get into bathtubs full of ice. Then him and Dolph Lundgren have a showdown at the dude's family farm. It's pretty rad, sci-fi kickboxing action movie. Jean-Claude Van Damme is kind of funny as an action star just because, like, almost all of the other martial arts, there doesn't need to be a big explanation. But when it comes to Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, like, there's always got to be a reason that it's kickboxing, you know? Like, when you watch Under Siege with Steven Seagal, it's just understood that as a Navy SEAL, he knows martial arts, and those are the martial arts he's doing. But kickboxing is such a, like, different subset visually from the other martial arts. And then, too, one thing that's always funny to me, they don't do it in Universal Soldiers. They do it in a couple of his other movies where they've got to explain why he's got his Belgian accent. Because he's playing an American, almost always playing an American military officer. That's a funny one. I remember in Kickboxer, there's a line that just doesn't really matter to the story at all about how their parents divorced, and that's why his brother has an American accent, but he has a Belgian one because he moved with one of their parents to Europe, while the other brother stayed in the United States. There was also, this will be like the top 3 Van Damme movies in my opinion. I'm not judging them on anything other than just how much I like watching them again. All right? And that's tough because, to be quite honest with you, I love just about every Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. They're fucking great. All right? I would say the next one would be Sudden Death. Sudden Death is fantastic. Okay, so plot of Sudden Death. Jean-Claude Van Damme is the head security guard at a hockey arena. And there's a terrorist plot to blow up the hockey arena, right? At halftime. Or no, not at halftime. It's at the end of the game. Sudden Death is a reference to that. They'll go into overtime, what have you. Anyway, so the plot is there's a terrorist going to blow up the hockey rink. while they're playing professional hockey there. He's the only security guard that can stop them. And it's basically like, imagine Die Hard, but instead of an almost empty building at a Christmas party, it's a hockey arena full of people, right? But the whole idea is like he's got to sneak around. There was one point where he improvises a flamethrower using like a squirt gun full of kerosene and a lighter. Oh man, that was so fucking rad. I love it. That was great. Also, his daughter is there at the hockey game. That ups the stakes. Oh, it's just he kills a dude by pushing his face into a fryer. It's the best movie. Oh my god. I love it. I'm gonna watch Sudden Death maybe today. I don't know, now I'm in the mood to see it again. And then number 3 on my list of the top 3 awesome kick-ass Van Damme movies. I know a lot of people are going to expect me to say Street Fighter. I've defended that movie in the past. Street Fighter is a great movie. I think it's really underrated because a lot of people are judging it as a video game movie and not as just fucking absurdity. It's great, but it's not on this list. No. My next one is Time Cop. Time Cop, one of the greatest movies ever made. Okay, so check it out. Jean-Claude Van Damme, right? He's a time cop. It's right there in the name. Okay, so the whole idea is criminals go back in time, right? They want to get rich or whatever the fuck they want to do. Changing history. His job is to go back in time to make sure history proceeds the way it was supposed to. Oh, but there's a problem. His wife was murdered. He wants to go back in time to stop her murder. The guy who murdered her, he also goes back in time. So there's this thing in a lot of time travel things where they'll be like, oh, you can't meet your past self. The results could be catastrophic. And usually that means like it'll fucking blow your mind that time travel is real or whatever. No, you know what happens? In Time Cop, if you meet your former self, you touch yourself and they're like, oh, you turned to fucking goo. That happens to the bad guy in the movie. He meets his past self, they touch fingers, and then he just fucking melts into a pile of goo. They didn't take any like philosophical thought or logical thought to it at all. It's just like, oh, nah, if you touch yourself in the past, you just fucking instantly die. It was the best. Now here's where it gets bananas. Apparently, the bad guy turning himself into goo in the fucking early 90s does not affect what's happening to him in the late 90s. That's crazy, right? I mean, it affects what's happening to him personally, but killing this rich dude, who is the bad guy, apparently did not have an effect on history. But Jean-Claude Van Damme was able to save his wife. Here's the other thing that's crazy about Time Cop. You want to know something really fucking bananas about Time Cop? Time Cop has a early 90s Jean-Claude Van Damme and a late 90s Jean-Claude Van Damme, right? And one of them has a mullet. Do you know which one has the mullet? Not the one you would expect. It's the late 90s Jean-Claude Van Damme that has the mullet. Early 90s Jean-Claude Van Damme does not. Late 90s Jean-Claude Van Damme also has a fucking acid wash jean jacket. But I digress. This movie is fantastic too. There is one scene where there's a bunch of water on his kitchen floor. The bad guys try to tase him. And get this, he jumps up on the kitchen counter and does the fucking splits in his underwear. So we see all of his Jean-Claude Van Damme glory. The taser goes between where his legs were because he's doing the splits. And eventually the taser plugs, they get into the water that's on the floor and electrocute the guy to death, which I don't think is how tasers work. But again, it's just a really good movie. I love Time Cop. They made a TV series based on Time Cop that was also pretty good. It didn't have Jean-Claude Van Damme in it. I know it used to come on my local CBS station about 2 in the morning. Every Friday night / Saturday morning. I would watch it when I was a teenager because it was fucking cool. there's a really funny part in Time Cop. I'm about to end this video because I've already said all 3 movies, and you know I don't have a lot to add. But I'll tell you, there's this really funny part in Time Cop. So this dude goes back in time, right, to buy stocks, and I think the idea is like he's going back in time. I wasn't really clear on this. Exactly when he went there, because like the Depression's right around the corner. It's like the 20s. But then I was thinking, oh, maybe he buys the stocks so that, you know, he can sell high in 1929, whatever. Anyway, this guy has gone back in time to buy stocks, right? Time Cop Jean-Claude Van Damme shows up, and he's got proof that this guy's from the future because he's got a fucking mini disc player. Remember mini discs? Most of you might not, because I don't know. I feel like I'm a lot older than the people that watch these now. Anyway, mini discs, they were kind of like in between CDs and MP3s. Think of them as like, if you're familiar with the 3.5-inch floppies, think of them as like a high density one of those made specifically for music. Okay, so he's got a mini disc player, and he's bumping his future music while he's trading stocks in the past, and Time Cop comes in. So the guy calls his security, and this big fucking dude with this giant mustache starts doing the old-timey boxing pose like this. He's like, I went so many rounds with Teddy Roosevelt himself. And Jean-Claude Van Damme just fucking wrecks him. And he's like, I watched Mike Tyson on TV. I was the best. Anyway, those are my top 3 Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. I'm going to be honest with you, that wasn't the topic when I started this video, but I don't remember what I was going to talk about, and this was a lot of fun. I will talk to you guys later. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Do you think I'm off base on one of these movies being the greatest movies of all time? Maybe. You can get fucked. I don't care. Leave a comment and tell me, and I'll argue about it with you. Or if you like a different Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, leave a comment about your favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. Jean-Claude Van Damme is a fucking treasure. God, the world is lucky to have him. Anyway, after you like, share, comment, subscribe, do all of the usual fucking YouTube things. If you want to support me more, I have a Patreon. No one really subscribes to the Patreon, and the exclusive stuff on the Patreon, it's not everybody's cup of tea. I get it, you know, so no pressure on that. I appreciate any support that people want to give me, even if that's just reach. And speaking of reach, I've also got a Facebook page where I post some things sometimes. And really, like, you know, this is really just a blog for me, so anybody who wants to watch it, that's cool. But I do take suggestions from the people who do subscribe and enjoy my content. Anyway, I might do another video like this because this was kind of fun one. Have a great day. I love you. Thank you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.